if you want to rip it like the next Yahweh mouse meat. First, you got to master these arpeggios.
From Heck.
Hey there kids, it's your good buddy Uncle Ben, and welcome to a brand new installment of Weekend Wank Shop. It's a known fact in the scientific community that arpeggios are fucking sick, but it can be really hard to know where to get started to learn all the different shapes and inversions and how they connect and all that jazz. But that's exactly why I put together today's etude in the style of one Yahweh mouse meat. It's in the key of A minor. It's going to show you guys how you can hop from shape to shape and learn those inversions inside and out. And it's sure to get you shredding faster than a cheetah in a Ferrari Testarossa. As always, this video is brought to you guys by everybody who supports my channel over on my Patreon page at patreon.com/BenEllerGuitars. Sign up today for all kinds of bonus goodies, including downloadable tabs and practice tracks to go along with today's lesson. I'm also going to be uploading a guitar profile, that way you can build your own perfect practice session. Here for a couple weeks, my patrons have also been enjoying a different version of this video that I actually made several weeks ago and kind of chickened out of uploading. I wonder why. Hello kids, and welcome to Weekend Wank Shop. Here with your new god, Yngwie Milkshake. A Sir guitar is the best guitar in the world. I need the best, so that is why I am playing the best today. You are not the best, so you are not needing this. So sign up today and you get access to that one too. Gear-wise for today's video, I am playing this incredible new Jackson Virtuoso that just landed in my lap and has not left since. This thing is absolutely freaking sick. Kind of reminds me of my Soloist, only it's a bolt-on body with, I think, probably the most comfortable neck heel of any bolt-on I have ever played. Seriously, it just fits right in your hand and does not get in the way. Lets you reach all 24 beautiful frets with ease on this roasted maple neck with this streaky ebony fingerboard. And hear the Seymour Duncan pickups and behold the lovely Pacific Ocean finish. There is just so much to love about this thing. Really ripping guitar. Now let's hear those arpeggios again.
At heck dad speed.
That was like the most boring shit I am ever playing in my entire life. I do not understand how you little boys are playing so slowly like this without falling asleep. It starts off on A minor, which is any combination of the notes A, C, and E. And the first shape that we use to achieve those notes is right here at the 5th position. Use an upstroke and a pull-off, another upstroke on the B string, and then sweep through your G, B, and high E there on the 5th fret. Next we're going to go up here to the next shape of those notes, which is up here. Again, exact same notes, but just in a different order. And then we're going to jump up here to the biggest, stretchiest shape here. So now we have and then you're going to go back to the previous shape. So So that kind of shows you how you can get those same notes in 3 different positions. We'll talk about how to shift quickly here in a second. After this, we're going to go to D minor. Now, D minor is going to be the exact same set of shapes, but it's going to give us the notes D, F, A, which is our D minor triad. Now, start off with that same like first finger bar shape, only up here at the 10th fret instead. After this, we're going to transition up here to this shape here, which is using the A and F notes on the high E string, D on the B string, and A on the G string. And then up top here, we're going to reach up to the high D note on 22. Good thing it's easy to access on this Jackson Virtuoso. Then back to the previous shape. So all your D minors were right here. Now at this point we get to the E7 part of the progression. An E7 arpeggio is E, G sharp, B, D, and E. But a true neoclassical shredder do not play an E7 arpeggio. They'll play a full diminished arpeggio a half step above it. Okay, so not E7, but rather F diminished 7. Add a bunch of chromatic crap in there, but that gives you like the ultimate neoclassical, you know, villain tying the woman to the train track sound. It's really, really, really cool. And it's because whenever you do that, whenever you play the F diminished over the E7, it gives you the sound of an E7 that also has a flat 9 in it, which is like ultra high tension and resolves beautifully back to A minor. So anyway, F diminished is where we're going to be over the E7 chord. It's going to start off right here with the G sharp note on high E string 16. Just like that, same deal as always, up, pull, up, down, down, down. Now the cool thing about full demolished arpeggios is that if you just move them down or up the fretboard in 3 fret jumps, it recycles the same notes every time. So this is G sharp, F, D, B. This is F, D, B, G sharp. If I move it down another 3 frets, which I'm going to, it'll be D, B, G sharp, F. Same notes, exact same shape, just moved around 3 fret intervals. So we're going to start off here at the 13th position. Move down 3 frets. Move down 3 frets. And then 3 frets one more time. So that's our E7/F demolished sound. And then lastly, you're going to close it out by returning to the A minor arpeggios that you played earlier. So all together we start with A minor, D minor, E7, and back to A minor. Okay, so now that you know how to play the dang thing, let's give you some technique tips. That way you can start sweeping like a real Magnum sweeper. So when it comes to connecting those shapes across the neck, one thing that I like to do is to look at how those shapes are kind of interlocking with each other. And one big key to that is realizing that whatever note your little finger is on in the current shape, that's the note that your first finger is going to be on in the next shape. So like right now I'm in this position, right? That means in the next shape, my first finger is going to be there. Let's see how that works with the D minor shape. So our first shape here has our little finger on the F note. The next shape has our first finger on the F note. This is on the A note right now. Next shape is going to have the first finger there. If I played the diminished shapes going up, you'd notice the same thing there too. Where the little finger is now is where the first finger is going to be next. D note, F note. They're always kind of interlocking, and it's that exchange from the little finger to the first finger. And in fact, kind of getting used to doing it this way can be a great way to help you learn how to make those quick shifts across the neck. You can see I went there from the little finger to the first finger. Do the D minors that way. Again, it can just be really helpful to see how those shapes kind of interlock as they go across the neck. It's also a really good idea too to know the notes or the intervals that are inside of those arpeggios and visualize those going across the high E string. Here's what I mean. So this will help you find the next starting point for every arpeggio shape. So A minor is A, C, E, right? So plot out where the A's, the C's, and the E's are. A, C, E, A, C, E. Those are always going to be starting points for all these arpeggio shapes. C, E, A. For the D minor, I'm thinking D, F, A. So there's a sure starting point, there's a starting point, there's a starting point, there's a starting point for all these different shapes I'm going to play. F, so now I'm looking for A, now I'm looking for D, and so on. So yeah, kind of having that roadmap going across every string like that can really help you find where to start all those arpeggio shapes and how they connect. Now let's talk about the hardest thing of all, which are those really fast position shifts as we move up the neck through the different arpeggio shapes. But there is kind of a trick to it. Okay, whenever you're down here in the first position, A minor, what you should be doing is with your eyes finding the next starting point for the next arpeggio shape, which is that 12 on the high E string. Whenever you're down here, don't be looking at this hand. It's already in the right shape. It's not going to run away if you're not babysitting it and watching it with your eyes. With your eyes, find the next starting point and just stare at it. Then when you're done with the first position, with your eyes locked onto that 12th fret, just fling the hand up and you'll find that you're able to stop on a dime right where you need to be. Whereas if your eyes are moving with your hand, man, it's impossible. Like, you really can't do that. At those speeds, your hand will just be a blur. You won't be able to see it. But if you have your eyes fixed right here on the 12, you'll stop on it every single time. So here's a great way to get started doing this. Go. And just try to land on that first note. Don't worry about the whole shape or anything. Just try to land on that note. Staring at the 12. Then when you're in this shape, be staring at the next position point, which is up here at the 17. Now that you're here, you can complete that shape. Think of the same stuff with the D minor, right? So I'm right here at the 10th position. I've got my eyes on 17 on the A note. I've got my eyes on 22, and so on. Again, it's all about finding it with your eyes before your hands get there. That makes those jumps way easier to do. Right hand wise, because this is all on the top 3 strings of the guitar, be sure to keep the fat edge of your palm on those bottom strings at all times. You don't want the E, A, or D making any noise or ringing out on you, which is what will happen if your hand is kind of floating above the strings like this. It's sure to generate some noise. So be sure to rest that hand on those strings. I'm kind of like right above the bridge pickup, just so that they won't make any noise as I'm going through these different arpeggio shapes. Now, a little bit of palm muting using the lower portion of the karate chop portion of your hand right there, kind of that little space below the base of your little finger. You can get that across those high strings for a little bit of palm muting. Now, if you're doing this slowly, the notes will sound really choked out like this. And it won't really sound good. You'll probably practice it slowly without any muting to make the note sound really long and full, but you'll reach a speed limit here where After, I don't know, a certain BPM, you'll notice a little palm muting goes a long way because it naturally shortens the notes. It's almost like a banjo where the notes just have no sustain at all. It makes it a lot easier, especially with those one finger rolls like how we started off both the minor arpeggios. I mean, without a little palm muting, those things can turn into a mess. You know, it sounds like you're strumming a chord rather than playing an arpeggio. But if you take that same technique and just add on a little muting, now they sound really articulate and punchy, right? But like if I slowed that down, it doesn't really sound any good at all. But fortunately, you won't be doing any crazy sweep picking at really low speeds anyway, so don't worry about that. Add a little bit of palm muting on, it's going to make those notes sound a lot punchier and more better. So there you go, guys, some arpeggios from Heck. This is absolutely perfect to help you get that sweep picking down and learn those arpeggio shapes and how they connect across the fretboard. Just remember, they're always the same notes, just going through in different orders. So even as you move to some bizarre new shape that might feel totally unlike the last one, just be sure to remember, it's the same notes as what you were just playing, just in a different shape. Be sure to grab that downloadable tab, the practice tracks, the guitar profile, all that good stuff over on the Patreon page, patreon.com/BenEllerGuitars. It's going to be everything that you need to get this thing up to speed in no time fast. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for notifications every time I upload a new slice of fried gold right here for you guys. And let me know what you guys would like to see featured on the next installment of Weekend Fwank Shop. Well, guys, it's been fun as always, but now it's time to get away from the computer machine and go do some shredding. Less clicking, more picking. See you in Tokyo, bitch.